Welcome back to another Amulet Titan round. On the draw here. I assume my opponent could always choose to make me on the play. Alright, what are the odds I draw into a Titan or a way to get Titan? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14 Titans or ways to find Titan. Breeding pool, gemstone mine double blue, so that means Teleria West counts. So 14. Realistically, I want a Titan by turn 3 here. So 26% chance each draw. This is a risky hand. Let's try it out. Okay, I was like, not Crix's Shadow. Alright. Paradoxical outcome. No land. Oh, there we go. Alright. Why are they doing this before bobbling? Okay. Well, if they Oko my amulets, this hand's a lot worse. I don't mind throwing the first one out there. The second one I'm going to protect a little bit more. Here's an Oko. Make my amulet an elk. Hey buddy, I have control of the battlefield now. If they also elk my secure tribe scout, they might fall behind a little bit. Red. Why would my opponent be running steam vents? What's the red for here? I gotta figure that out. Goblin Engineer? Like, I feel like that's a bit greedy, maybe unnecessary here. Okay. Yep. So I can Titan next turn, right? Opponent's got one card left in hand, so really their only threat here is this Oko, so they're going to do everything they can to protect it. Yeah, that's fine. I think they should have chosen my scout, but... Yep. Opponent's just drawing better than I am. Round 1, game 2. I couldn't draw a land to save my life. And this game I can't draw anything but non-lands here. Oh, sorry, but lands here. Yeah, it's fine. Oddly enough, that shrinks their construct a little bit. It's fine. There we go. Alright, so let's play an Amulet. Green, green, green. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to get Boros. I'm going to attack because there's no reason not to here. And then I get to play land drops for my field. Right, I'm not missing anything. They only have 1 open blue, 1 open anything, so they can't Assassin's Trophy me here. Because this has to be a blue mana because of Urza, and that's anything, so I'm completely in the clear here. Yeah. And they already made their EE on 0, which could kill my zombie horde, into a elk. So I'm going to attack with Prime Time at Oko. But do I want to play a land now or later? I'm going to get Simic Growth Chamber and Tolaria West so I can start a Titan Chain. So I don't think it matters 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 when I do it. So I'll just play it now. Actually, I don't have to get a bounce land, so I should have waited. I should have thought about that for 2 more seconds. I don't need to get a bounce land because I have 1 in hand, so I can just get a Tolaria West, another field. Yeah. As long as my Amulet's there, I have plenty of mana next turn. I don't have to do the math to T-West and Prime. Opponent's down to this top deck right here. So I should have 1 more zombie in play than I do. I don't know if there's that big of a difference between 7 to 8, but there might be. Yep. We were expecting that line. That was like kind of the only line my opponent had there. That stinks. That was a really good top deck from my opponent. So they're not dead at the moment. Still going to flash in a land, though, just to have a little bit extra leeway for next turn. It's kind of busted. You don't have to tap EE to blow it up. Most of those effects hit the tap. That just means Urza gets to do two things with it. What are you going to do with Cryptic Command? Draw a card and bounce something. Tap all my creatures. Okay. Opponent can't have Cryptic Command up because they only have 2. So go to the graveyard before they can start using Mystics. I don't know why they did that then. That just gives me 2 more zombies. Alright. I can actually force my opponent to block with Urza. Which is nice. Block this primetime with Urza. So let's go Sun Home. And Gemstone Mine. White, red, yep. Or we just win. Opponent shouldn't have done that, when they blew it up. I think we were winning that regardless. Force of Vigor, Beast Within's interesting. Ramana, probably not. I could bring in Trackers if I choose. Rex Age if I choose. Mystical Dispute seems pretty good here. Ghost Quarter is not something I'm interested in. And neither really is Radiant Fountain. So I definitely want you. I think I want you also, because you can have Damping Sphere. I want ways to deal with that. Engineered Explosive is pretty good against Damping Sphere too. Just not as good against the rest of you. Mystical Dispute's definitely coming in. I think I just win this matchup just with Field of the Dead, so I think that's just how I want to try to win. I think I just like Scout a little bit more than Azusa here. Just the early drop, a little bit faster. Once Upon a Time to Find Titan, and this is good. Opponent mulligans to 6. So this Cavern's really strong here because they're going to have ways to counter. They can have like Disdainful Strokes and things like that. There's Emery. This Bajuga Bog can be helpful. There's a Mox Opal in there. I think what I might just do here, just bog my opponent right now. That does so either they get the Mox Opal or the Mishra's Bauble. So either way they're getting value. I think I just want to stop them from getting Opal if I can. Because I have Explore, I actually still get to ramp next turn anyway. This lets me hold the Once Upon a Time for one more turn as well. Yep. By the way, I love this interaction. Emery in Mishra's Bauble is like a very me thing to do. Like I love Dark Confidant, Mishra's Bauble. I just love Mishra's Bauble in general, and repeatedly drawing a card which I've referred to as like opt is very, very strong. All right, let's see what we get here. Let's get that Titan. My plan is to use a bounce land to reset that cavern. Yep. Yep. Okay, so I get to Knuckle, go down to 2, and kind of go from there. This year kind of demonstrates why Oko has a bit too high of a starting loyalty, because he made my 1/1 into a 3/3, and it wasn't really a downside. Like he lost a couple loyalty, but Oko's not building to an ultimate, so it doesn't really affect him. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really impact anything substantial. Like now he can just elk any permanent in play he has, and now he has a protector. So if I'm not constantly adding to the board and going wider than the Oko opponent, which is hard to do, then I'm falling behind on the board. Even with my opponent giving my creature +2/+2. Okay, so I have 4 mana. So next turn I can Titan. Alright. This forces my opponent to block. I don't like that line. I'd rather use that to kill a Titan, which you know I have, than kill a Scout. That tells me that my opponent either has another one, or they have like a Assassin's Trophy or something. I haven't seen any black mana yet. Just that steam vents, just a little bit of red, which surprises me. That's what the red's for. All right. Oh. I almost want to like just concede right now because I don't really want to slog through this, but I would just need a basic forest and we're back in it. Meanwhile, let's get some free ramp in there. So with Opal, Astrolabe, Goose, and a plethora of basics anyway, my opponent's kind of immune to Blood Moon here. And they just need to kill me before I get a basic. Or have a Cryptic that kills me too, effectively. I was wondering what the red was for, and we know now. So they don't really have a way to deal with Titan. It's no different. Yep. Then got a 2 here. So I'm dead next turn. Unless... Oh, that's lethal. Alright. Anything different I want, knowing that they're running Blood Moon? No. Like I could say EE, but their EE is already being put on 0 anyway. I could say Ghost Quarter maybe as a way to get basic out of my deck. But that's not even a great plan. It sounds. I like the Cavern. I like the Once Upon a Time. I just don't. I like having a basic. I like the Beast Within. I just don't think this hand does enough. This hand isn't playable. Let's keep that, bottom that, and bottom Forest, I think. Bottom you. Well, in the Gemstone, just to be a little bit more wary, I guess, of Blood Moon. Once upon a time, hope for a Scout here. A Scout and like a Castle Garen break, I can still turn 3 Titan. What's one piece to my puzzle right here? I know my plan is turn 5 Titan, which is probably too slow, but I am on a mulligan. Opponent did not mulligan. Okay. Wondering if I should Just should have just kept that perfect land first hand. Because, all right, my game plan is, yeah, that changed it a little bit. My game plan is to just drop a ton of lands, and then cast a prime time and get Field the Dead triggers, and that's how I beat my opponent. So this Blood Moon stops that, but I had the way to answer the Blood Moon with the Beast Within in my hand. Like, I had land drops, so I'm wondering if that first, knowing that but second mulligan ended up being, that first hand was probably a little bit better anyway. I can thin my deck here. There's not much else I can do. I can grab another forest and just more bounce lands. Now they just need a way to... They have to deal with my 6/6 trample. That doesn't do it, and Force of Vigor still is a good draw for me. So Oko's a good draw. Oko would probably just win them the game from this point. But other than that, I think I'm fine. Like, what do you, like? I think I'm just fine here. Sorry about the lower energy. I'm swamped from work. We're doubling my scope of work. I am working with a company right now and training their sales force for them, which is just fun, just still work. The opponent's not dead. They have a ton of food tokens, but they are running out of time to draw Oko or Urza or something here. I should crack a food token on my end step. No? Just wasted 2 mana there, really. They need to gain some life. Nice. Please no Oko. Please no Oko. Force of Vigor. Best possible draw? No? Okay. Guess I'll just keep thinning my deck. Don't agree with that line from my opponent. I think that was incorrect. They should have blocked the Azusa and then just gained the life anyway. Had a lower land count that way, but they could have kept their food producer in play. They have plenty of lands, so I feel like that was a fine line from my opponent if that was the case. Yeah, let's try this. Rexage just probably wins us this game right here. All right. So the reason to do that pre-combat was to be able to just kill my opponent with double strike. The reason to do it post-combat was in case I was playing around something like that. Not an Oko. Oko's the only thing. Well, they already tapped all of their islands and their Opal, so couldn't cast Oko unless they also had like another Opal. So I think we're fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can gain 6 life, go to 10. So they're not dead, but they can fog us again. They can fog all day. Look at all this food. Force of Vigor is probably the best. Force of Vigor, Rex Sage, another Summoner's Pact, all great draws. I can just cast that and... Rex Sage doesn't actually win. I forgot the 2 Blood Moons. Force of Vigor is best possible draw still. Force of Vigor here. Opponent checking out my draw. Opponent checking out their draw. It's not a Force of Vigor. Alright, let's put in a breeding pool and castle. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to keep these lands in my hand in case I do draw a force. I can pick up a pact or something else there. And the cavern can just help me play around counter magic. Opponent's got another turn here to draw something. Okay. So they elk my prime time. Yep, that's 4 power now. They eat a food. They'll be at 1 life. Walking Ballista would be so good if I was running it in my deck right now. Okay, they got a blocker too, so I no longer have trample. It's a big deal. One in 36 chance of drawing force right now. That's not it. So I have to attack. Like I can... Yeah. Thing is, they can just take this and eat the food. I guess this is where Tireless Tracker would be good, because then I can make 3 clues and crack them. This big boy doesn't do too much. Okay, so maybe I do want a Tireless Tracker against Urza, just because of how good he is against Oko. Where, like, in this situation, if I could have pacted for a tracker there, I could have just made 3 clues, made a decently sized tracker, and even once elked, it'd still be a big body, because it keeps the +1/+1 counters. So, lesson learned. I think 1 tracker could be good in this matchup. It's at least good in this spot. I still don't know if it's correct to bring in, but it's good in this spot. Opponents are on a ton more cards than me this game. They have to have something. They have to have a cryptic, because otherwise they're just getting pretty close to dying, right? Okay. Maybe I should have hit Oko so they can't swap my Titan for an Astrolabe. I mean, I just need Force. Like, it's the only thing I really have that can catch me back up from this Oko. I need to dodge Oko for what, one more turn? And I just couldn't do it. Yep. Force Vigor still wins me the game. So I can play a Titan, play a bounce land, pick up the Teleria West, make a bunch of zombies. The bigger thing is that even though my opponent does have 2 EEs, 3 EEs now in play, and they can rebuy the EE every turn, these zombies are still threatening, and my Titan I play immediately can immediately come in and swing in and punch their face. And if they do use the EE to kill up the zombies, they do lose their constructs too. Okay, that's something. I should probably be a little bit smarter about this in case I do draw my best card. I think I'm dead here. So, opponent's eating up so much clock. Yeah, they get to spin the wheel here. And they get to exchange my 3/3 for an Opal, or an Astrolabe, right? Give me one less blocker. Just couldn't draw it. Literally the wrong half of my deck because I think she's a little bit better at the moment. Because I've seen 31 cards in my deck and I just haven't seen that one card. Or Tracker would have been pretty good because Tracker could have drawn me, like I said, just 3 cards that turn. Something here. Come on. That's something. Okay. I don't know why my opponent's spinning their wheels right now. This Titan doesn't do too much. They just have to just let it resolve, Oko it, swing again, and then win in 2 draw steps. At this point, I mean, my opponent will time out. Yeesh. Okay. Running out of lands. Like, all my opponent has to do right now is honestly, all that they have to do is exchange my Azusa for a Mox Opal or an Astrolabe, and the game is over. They have two 12/12s. I can only block one. That's all they have to do. And the game's over. Bummer. So much hope. So much hope. Apparently it didn't matter because it was literally going to be like the last card. That's the literal... That literally is... I wasn't winning this game anyway. Force of Vigor was the 60th card in my deck. Alright, you got me. You win. Alright. Well, that was fun. I'll see you guys in the next one.